That gleaming machine in your driveway is not a car. It is a ticking financial time bomb. You are paying thousands to sit inside a wiretapped, disposable Trojan horse engineered to destroy your wealth. Watch until the end to escape this ruthless billion-dollar corporate extortion. Look closely at that gleaming, pristine machine sitting out there in your driveway. You probably look at it and feel a sense of pride, believing you have just purchased a masterpiece of modern engineering, a well-deserved reward for years of your grueling hard work. You are dead wrong. What you have actually done is invite a ruthless financial parasite into your life, a brilliantly disguised Trojan horse engineered with a singular, terrifying purpose: to systematically drain every last dollar from your bank account. The golden age of the automobile, the era of the 20-year legacy-building machine that you could pass down to your children, has flatlined. It is dead, buried, and paved over by corporate greed. We are living in August 2026, and what sits in the brightly lit showrooms today are no longer automobiles. They are bloated, disposable, hyper-fragile electronics on wheels that deliver the lifespan and reliability of a cheap, heavily used smartphone. At Credit Card Payoff Plan US warmly welcomes you to the ugly, unspoken truth of the modern automotive industry. Before we dive into the deep end and pull back the curtain on this billion-dollar deception, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Your subscription is the very heartbeat of this channel. It is the only thing that gives us the fierce motivation and the independence to keep exposing these vicious corporate traps for you. Now, let us dissect the senseless, maddening complexity that has infected modern car cabins like a digital virus. The physical button, the tactile, simple, muscle memory savior of driving that kept our eyes on the asphalt, has been entirely eradicated. Look at the horrifying reality of a brand new BMW and its so-called My Modes feature. To execute a task as fundamental as adjusting the air conditioning or tweaking the suspension, you are violently forced to navigate a labyrinth of glowing submenus on a massive, glaring screen. It has turned the simple act of driving into a deadly game of digital Jenga, where one wrong, frustrated tap at 70 miles per hour sends your 2-ton vehicle hurtling into oncoming traffic. This is not innovation. It is an engineered, lethal distraction that goes against every fundamental law of ergonomic safety, transforming everyday drivers into bewildered, panicked IT technicians while flying down the interstate. Yet, these dazzling screens are nothing more than a hypnotic smokescreen designed to blind you from the catastrophic mechanical rot festering underneath the hood. The mechanical integrity of these vehicles is hitting absolute rock bottom the very second they roll off the polished assembly line. I recently watched agonizing footage of a brand new Chevy barely registering 50 miles on the odometer being shamefully winched onto a flatbed tow truck. The factory plastic wrap was still clinging to the seats, yet the transmission had already suffered a catastrophic aneurysm. This is a dead cat bounce of modern manufacturing. It looks alive and vibrant on the showroom floor, but it is mechanically deceased before you can even park it in your garage. And when your shiny new digital coffin inevitably breaks, you are violently thrown into a customer service disaster that borders on psychological warfare. Consider the harrowing, heartbreaking saga of the Mazda CX-90 PHEV owners. 5 months into ownership, the honeymoon ends, and the car mutates into a rolling nightmare of charging faults, mysterious fluid hemorrhages, and total transmission failures. The vehicle is towed back to the dealer, where it sits rotting in the sun-baked backlot for another 5 months, paralyzed waiting for back-ordered phantom parts that simply do not exist. How does the dealership and their army of corporate PR representatives respond to this excruciating liquidity blood clot? with scripted, hollow, dead-eyed apathy. They toss you the plastic keys to a cheap, stripped-down penalty box of a loaner car while you continue bleeding out an $800 monthly note on a premium luxury SUV you are forbidden to drive. Their ultimate cynical advice when you finally break down in tears of frustration is to tell you that if you are unhappy, you can always trade it in. They are coldly advising you to take a massive negative equity bath, to initiate a campaign of financial amputation, just to escape their fundamentally defective product. You, the consumer, are currently paying tens of thousands of hard-earned dollars for the sheer insulting privilege of being an unpaid beta tester. You are single-handedly funding the panicked, rushed launch of plug-in hybrid vehicles designed solely to appease draconian government emission regulations, while you are left completely alone to suffocate on the devastating financial consequences. To understand why these multi-thousand-dollar machines are dropping dead before their first oil change, we have to look past the incompetent dealerships and peer directly into the compromised, profit-starved engineering happening at the factory level. There was once a time when the word engineering in the automotive world implied a sacred pact between the manufacturer and the driver, a promise that the heavy metals and precisely milled components bolted together under the hood were built to endure the brutal realities of the open road. That pact has been unceremoniously shredded and tossed into the corporate incinerator. Today, the legendary durability of cast iron and over-engineered aluminum has been stealthily replaced by an ocean of brittle, heat-cycled plastics. Automakers have realized that building a car to last 20 years is a fundamentally flawed business model for their quarterly earnings reports. Therefore, they have enthusiastically embraced the dark art of planned obsolescence, weaponizing thermodynamics against the very people buying their products. They are burying critical, failure-prone plastic components like water pumps, thermostat housings, and delicate timing chain guides deep inside the sweltering, inferno-like V of the engine block. It is a calculated, deeply cynical mathematical equation. The engineers know exactly how many heating and cooling cycles that cheap polymer can withstand before it turns brittle and shatters, sending catastrophic metal-on-metal shrapnel directly into the heart of your motor. They have engineered these vehicles to survive just long enough to limp across the finish line of the powertrain warranty, ensuring that when the inevitable structural failure occurs, the devastating $10,000 repair bill falls squarely onto your shoulders, not theirs. Furthermore, we are witnessing the terrifying rise of small-displacement, hyper-stressed turbocharged engines powering massive, heavy vehicles. In a desperate, frantic bid to meet arbitrary government fuel economy mandates, manufacturers have ripped out the reliable, naturally aspirated engines of the past. In their place, they have shoved in tiny, overworked 3- and 4-cylinder engines, bolting on massive turbochargers to compensate for the pathetic lack of natural horsepower. You are forcing a microscopic engine to haul around a 5,000-pound SUV, requiring the turbo to spool up to hundreds of thousands of revolutions per minute just to merge onto the highway. This creates an environment of immense internal pressure and astronomical heat. The oil breaks down faster, the internal seals bake until they crack, and the sheer mechanical stress tears the internal bearings to shreds. They market this to you as eco-friendly innovation, promising better gas mileage and a smaller carbon footprint. But I ask you, what exactly is environmentally friendly about a disposable engine that completely destroys itself at 60,000 miles, requiring the entire vehicle to be scrapped or totally rebuilt? It is a hypocritical, toxic lie. The modern internal combustion engine is no longer a mechanical workhorse. It is a ticking financial time bomb, meticulously designed by accountants rather than mechanics, waiting to detonate in your driveway and wipe out your savings account. But the physical degradation of the engine is only half the battle. The real extortion begins when you realize you do not even truly own the hardware that manages to survive. Welcome to the era of automotive ransomware, where the title in your glove box is nothing more than an expensive illusion. We have crossed a terrifying threshold where purchasing a vehicle in cash, free and clear, no longer grants you absolute dominion over the machine. The automakers looked greedily at the recurring revenue models of software companies and decided they wanted a piece of that endless, unearned cash flow. They have quietly transformed your car from a piece of private property into a rolling, data-harvesting software platform designed to bleed you dry with microtransactions. The hardware, the physical heating elements in your seats, the remote start modules, the advanced safety sensors, and even the battery capacity in electric vehicles, is already installed in the car. You paid for the manufacturing, the shipping, and the installation of those physical parts when you signed the dealer contract. Yet the manufacturer has deliberately placed a digital padlock on the computer systems, holding your own car hostage until you agree to pay them a monthly ransom to activate it. Imagine the sheer, unadulterated audacity required to tell a customer who just spent $60,000 on a luxury sedan that they will freeze in the winter unless they pay an additional $18 a month to turn on the heated seats. It is an insulting, parasitic business practice that fundamentally attacks the concept of private ownership. And it does not stop at comfort features. Manufacturers are currently testing out subscriptions for basic vehicle performance, locking horsepower and acceleration behind paywalls. You are effectively renting the full capability of a machine you already bought. If you suffer a financial hardship and cancel your credit card, they can beam a signal from a corporate server hundreds of miles away and instantly cripple your vehicle, disabling your navigation, your remote start, and your driving assists. Even more chilling is what they are doing with the data your car generates. Every time you brake hard, every location you navigate to, every song you listen to, and every minute you spend idling is vacuumed up by the vehicle's onboard cellular connection and beamed back to corporate headquarters. They are packaging your intimate driving habits and selling them to third-party data brokers and auto insurance conglomerates without your explicit, informed consent. You are paying a premium to sit inside a wiretap. When you accept the miles-long terms of service just to turn off the radio, you are legally surrendering your privacy. The modern car is no longer a symbol of freedom and the open road. It is a corporate tether, an electronic leash designed to extract continuous revenue from your bank account long after the initial sale has concluded. This toxic combination of fragile hardware and predatory software creates a financial shockwave that completely obliterates the secondary market and drags your insurance premiums down with it into a terrifying death spiral. We are currently standing at the precipice of an uninsurable automotive landscape, a reality where the cost of legally protecting your vehicle is rapidly outpacing the cost of actually buying it. Why is auto insurance suddenly skyrocketing to completely unmanageable heights for everyday, safe drivers? Because the fundamental architecture of the modern car has made it financially impossible to repair. Automakers have become obsessed with the concept of mega castings, pouring massive single-piece aluminum structures to form the entire front or rear chassis of a vehicle. On the assembly line, this saves the corporation millions of dollars in welding and riveting costs. But in the real world, out on the chaotic streets, it is an absolute disaster for the consumer. A minor 10-mile-per-hour fender bender in a grocery store parking lot, an impact that would have merely cracked the plastic bumper of a 10-year-old Honda, now structurally compromises the entire monolithic casting of a modern electric vehicle or high-end SUV. You cannot pull it, you cannot weld it, and you cannot patch it. The entire car is instantly declared a total loss by the insurance adjuster over a cosmetic tap. Compound this structural fragility with the fact that modern bumpers are no longer just pieces of plastic and foam. They are highly sensitive, hyper-expensive nerve centers housing radar emitters, LiDAR sensors, and high-definition cameras. A gentle scrape against a concrete pillar can easily result in a $4,000 repair bill because the entire proprietary sensor array has to be replaced, recalibrated, and programmed by a certified technician using software locked by the manufacturer. Independent body shops are being starved out of existence because they cannot afford the outrageously expensive proprietary diagnostic tools required to simply clear a code after replacing a headlight. Because of this engineered unrepairability, insurance conglomerates are hemorrhaging money on claims, and they are passing that massive deficit directly onto you, the consumer. We are seeing drivers with perfectly clean records facing premium hikes of 40 to 60% in a single year. And when the insurance becomes too expensive to afford, the resale value of the car plummets. You are trapped in a vice grip of negative equity. You buy a car for $50,000, the market realizes it costs too much to insure and maintain, and 3 years later, it is aggressively depreciated down to $20,000. Yet, you still owe $35,000 on your bloated, high-interest 7-year loan. You cannot sell it, you cannot afford the insurance, and you cannot afford the repairs when the plastic engine components inevitably fail. It is a perfectly designed wealth destruction machine, systematically engineered to transfer your hard-earned middle-class wealth directly into the pockets of automotive executives, banking institutions, and insurance tycoons, leaving you completely underwater and paralyzed. You do not have to be a helpless victim in this orchestrated wealth transfer, provided you are willing to completely rewrite the way you look at automotive transportation. The most rebellious, financially empowering action you can take in the year 2026 is to aggressively reject the hypnotic allure of the dealership showroom. You must kill the emotional desire for the new car smell and the giant glowing touchscreen, recognizing them for what they truly are: bait in a remarkably dangerous financial trap. True automotive luxury is not found in a voice-activated sunroof or a subscription-based heated steering wheel. True luxury is waking up in the morning without a suffocating $900 car payment hanging over your neck. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing the machine sitting in your driveway is fully yours, paid off, and completely divorced from the predatory whims of corporate servers. Your sanctuary in this disposable world lies in the used car market, specifically targeting the golden era of automotive manufacturing from the late 2000s to the mid-2010s. We are talking about the naturally aspirated, profoundly over-engineered machines built by legacy brands like Toyota and Honda, before the digital rot took over. Yes, an older Camry or a CR-V might lack the aggressive styling and the panoramic digital dashboards of the modern era, but underneath the hood, they possess something far more valuable: mechanical integrity. They were built with timing chains designed to last the life of the engine, robust transmissions that can easily eclipse 200,000 miles with basic fluid changes, and analog buttons that will never require a software update to turn on the air conditioning. When you choose to buy a well-maintained 10-year-old vehicle for cash, you are instantly opting out of the depreciation bloodbath. You are drastically slashing your insurance premiums because the vehicle is actually repairable by any independent mechanic with standard tools. You retain total ownership of your data, your mobility, and your capital. Every dollar you are not throwing into the black hole of negative equity and dealership loaner car purgatory is a dollar you can invest in your family, your mortgage, and your genuine financial freedom. The automotive industry has spent billions of dollars on psychological marketing to convince you that driving an older car is a symbol of failure, a sign that you are falling behind your peers. Do not let their corporate vanity become your financial ruin. Wear that older, reliable car as a badge of absolute honor. It means you are awake, you are disciplined, and you have successfully outsmarted a trillion-dollar industry designed to break you. Protect your wealth, guard your independence, and stop trading your future for a disposable, rolling iPad. In conclusion, the modern automotive industry has fundamentally transformed from a manufacturing powerhouse dedicated to durable transportation into a predatory financial extraction machine. Automakers have weaponized planned obsolescence, purposefully burying fragile plastic components inside high-stress, small-displacement engines to ensure your vehicle becomes a disposable liability the moment the warranty expires. Compounding this mechanical betrayal is the digital extortion of software subscriptions, where manufacturers hold the physical features of your own car hostage behind monthly paywalls, while simultaneously vacuuming up and selling your private data. This engineered unrepairability has triggered a devastating insurance crisis, trapping everyday drivers in a paralyzing cycle of skyrocketing premiums and catastrophic negative equity. However, you do not have to participate in this manufactured financial death spiral. By rejecting the toxic allure of dealership showrooms and the illusion of modern automotive luxury, you can reclaim your autonomy. The ultimate act of financial rebellion today is purchasing a reliable, naturally aspirated vehicle from the late 2000s or early 2010s in cash. These machines represent the twilight of true mechanical integrity, built before corporate greed and digital surveillance completely consumed the assembly line. Opting out of this trillion-dollar grift allows you to drastically lower your insurance, avoid the depreciation bloodbath, and keep your hard-earned wealth where it belongs, in your own bank account. A car should be a tool that facilitates your freedom, not a rolling, depreciating subscription service designed to bleed you dry. The profound lesson here extends far beyond the cars we drive. It is a stark awakening to the dangers of modern hyper-consumerism and the illusion of convenience. Society has been conditioned to equate newest with best, and to accept endless monthly payments as a normal standard of living. The deeper truth is that true freedom is rooted in absolute ownership and financial independence, not in the fleeting status of possessing the latest model. To apply this to your life right now, you must radically shift your mindset from a passive consumer to an empowered owner. Stop allowing corporate marketing to dictate your self-worth. When considering your next vehicle, or any major purchase, prioritize durability, repairability, and outright ownership over digital gimmicks and aesthetics. Pay cash for a proven, well-maintained older vehicle. Take the hundreds of dollars you save every month on car payments, exorbitant insurance and subscription fees, and aggressively invest it into appreciating assets. By deliberately choosing to drive an older, reliable machine, you are not signaling failure. You are demonstrating profound financial literacy and building an impenetrable fortress around your future wealth. If you had to make the choice today, would you prefer driving a brand new car with a heavy monthly payment and the latest technology, or a reliable older vehicle that is fully paid off? Please drop your answer and share your perspective in the comments section below so everyone can read and discuss your point of view. If you found this video valuable, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more eye-opening content like this.